A new study reveals that only about 15% of children raised in Catholic households become practicing adults. Titled the Future Faithful Families Project, it is research by the Center for Applied Research in the Apostolate and the Peyton Institute for Domestic Church Life. The project surveyed families to find out which practices contributed to successfully passing the faith on to younger generations. And here to tell us more is Dr. Gregory Popcak, founder of CatholicCounselors.com and host of EWTN Radio's More to Life. Thanks so much for coming on.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You are the co-author of this study. How did it begin, and what are some of the highlights?
Well, it actually began in 2019 when we had a symposium on Catholic family life and spirituality at Notre Dame, which was a gathering of over 50 theologians, social scientists, and pastoral ministry professionals looking at how could we renew Catholic family life. And out of that, the presentations that we did there, we identified certain habits that we thought the literature found that families did that enabled them to pass on the faith. And so we decided to actually test it out. So we found families that successfully raised all of their children to a faithful adulthood. And we interviewed both the parents and the adult children to see what did they attribute to their success. Because on average, 90% of children raised in Catholic households will leave the faith by adulthood. And so these families were really remarkable in their ability to raise all of their kids to be practicing adult Catholics.
So there are recommendations that you found to encourage the passing on of faith to children. Can you just share a couple now with our viewers?
Sure. Well, the big picture is that kids need to experience the faith as the source of the warmth in the home. Families can go to Mass weekly, of course they should. The families should pray together. They can do all kinds, send their kids to Catholic schools or youth ministry, but none of those things really stick unless the kids see the faith making a difference both in their parents' marriage and in the quality of the relationships in the home. And that doesn't mean that these families are perfect. We talked to families about their struggles, but we found that those families struggled differently. The adult children said that they found that their families prayed together through those struggles and talked about what they prayed together and saw how God was moving in their lives. So they were able to see their faith as a resource in good times and in bad.
So we discussed a lot about children when they're young. Right now, there's so much happening in our world today, from societal pressures to cultural trends and digital challenges. What advice would you give to parents whose adult children have strayed away from the faith?
We have a book on that actually called Having Meaningful, Sometimes Difficult Conversations with Adult Sons and Daughters. And what we really talk about there is the idea that first of all, we need to meet our adult children where they are, as opposed to where we'd like them to be. We have a tendency to think, well, I raised them to be Catholic. They went to Mass with me their whole childhoods. And so they should really understand why they should make better choices than they are. So we tend to start assuming that they're catechized and assuming that they're formed. But we really need to meet our kids where they're at. And if they're not living the faith, we need to kind of start there and build up from that point.
Such an important and impactful conversation that impacts a lot of people around the world. Dr. Greg Popcak, thanks so much.
Thank you.